You're listening to the Be a Better Lawyer podcast with Dina Cataldo, episode 189. So how do high-achieving lawyers break through generations of being taught that we have to grind ourselves into the ground to get results for clients, build a successful business, and create a life we love? While law schools are busy teaching the rule of law, they're slacking on teaching us how to be a better human to create for ourselves the success we thought we'd achieve after law school. This podcast bridges the gap between law school and life. Hello. How are you, my friend? I hope you are having a lovely week. I am surrounded by my menagerie of animals. Okay, I have two. I have a dog, Frankie, and my cat, Rocco, and they like to be around me when I want to be very quiet and do this podcast. So hopefully they don't decide to make some interesting noises while I'm doing this. So today I really want to talk to you about choosing belief, because so often we get into the habit of just believing things and not taking a look at whether or not those beliefs are serving us. And really, that's at the heart of the work that I do with my clients and why I am so powerfully motivated to talk to you about coaching, right? Like, this is just incredibly important if we want to create anything in our life, whether it's a calmer practice or leadership abilities within our practice. And at the end of this podcast, I want to offer you 5 powerful questions to ask yourself that will challenge what you believe, and they can change everything for you. So listen to the end, write them down, and revisit them, because this is a podcast that is one you're going to want to revisit. I want to offer you a way of thinking about what you want that will open you up to possibility. It was a way that I was blind to, even though I'd done it before in different contexts, and so have you. So let me show you what choosing to believe is. For example, I chose to believe that college was important. Everyone said it was, so I did it. I did not challenge that belief. Whether it's right, whether it's wrong, it doesn't matter. That was a belief that I chose. I chose to believe getting into the best schools was important, so I did my best to get into the best schools I could, no matter how much they cost. I chose to believe that law school would get me the job I wanted after I was done with law school. So you see, we do this all the time without even thinking about it. We choose to believe things like our partner loves us. We choose to believe that the sun is going to rise each morning. I want to offer you that we are always choosing to believe something, whether it is consciously or subconsciously. The choice, however, may be helpful or hurtful depending on what you want in your life. I love choosing to believe that the sun is going to come up tomorrow. It makes my life easy. I'm not thinking about how it might not come up tomorrow. It's a great choice for me to believe that. It really serves my long-term goals. Because when I make the choice to believe it, it makes other choices really easy for me. I can make plans because I assume it's going to come up. There's not going to be anything weird happening like a riot or something. I promote my podcast and my coaching program instead of choosing to hide in a closet. I go out and I help people instead of worrying and spending time in my head wondering what's going to happen if the sun doesn't come up. So here's what we do as humans, right? Even if a choice isn't getting us what we want, we keep making the same choice because we don't believe we have a choice. We just think things are as they are. We choose our old life because we believe we can't change, or because it's scary to choose a new life. We choose to believe what other lawyers say about what it means to be a lawyer instead of defining what it means to us to be a lawyer. So we do things like we don't start a new business because we're afraid of what other lawyers think, because other lawyers believe you shouldn't have a business on top of being a on top of being a lawyer. And I've seen this at my old office where, there were lawyers who were judging another lawyer for getting involved in politics outside of the county because they believed she shouldn't do anything except be a lawyer. And she should just be a lawyer in our county, and that's it. No, you can have aspirations. You can want other things. We have to choose to believe what we want, though. If we choose to believe that other lawyers have it figured out, we're not going to change things. And I'm going to show you this. When we have lawyers telling us that it just means being a lawyer means being stressed out, and it means being overwhelmed, and it means putting out fires constantly. That's a belief we get to choose. It is not a given. We have the ability to change. Now, you may not say these things out loud, these beliefs out loud, but you're also not saying out loud that you believe the sun's going to come up tomorrow. It's just assumed. It's never addressed. So I want to address this with a story. Let me tell you about me 11 years ago. I was working all the time as a criminal prosecutor. Nights, weekends. I believed that was what it meant to be a lawyer. I believed that is what it took to prove myself and my abilities. I chose to believe that I just needed to stick it out, instead of believing that the people leading my team didn't know what they were doing or were poor leaders. I believed that there was something wrong with me. It didn't strike me that I had a choice to believe anything differently until I was diagnosed with breast cancer at 29, and chemo seemed like a vacation from practicing the law. When I went through that, I saw that things could be different. There was a path where I didn't have to feel stressed out and overwhelmed. It just wasn't a given. I could do something else. And as fun as chemotherapy was, it couldn't just be a choice between that and practicing the law. There had to be another way. My brain it couldn't compute. It was okay, law, stressful, chemo, relaxing. That doesn't make sense to me. I knew something. There had to be another way. And so I had to choose to believe that. I had to choose to believe there was another way, even though I didn't know what it was yet. I had no clue. But when I chose to believe that there was another way, I could allow myself to figure it out. And this is true no matter where you are right now, whether you are, you love the law and you're overwhelmed with your practice, whether you dislike the law and you want to try something new. It doesn't matter. There is another way, but you've got to choose to believe there is another way. So being the overachiever I am, and you probably are too, I wanted to find a way to practice the law and follow my dream of starting a business. I wanted it all. I didn't care if there were obstacles. I chose to believe there was another way and that I would find it. There were a lot of obstacles, right? Being a full-time lawyer, procrastination, self-doubt, confusion. You name it. It was all there. Okay? But it didn't matter. All that mattered was that I believed that there was a way to have what I wanted and that I could figure it out. I had to choose that belief over and over and over again. Every time I felt like I had failed, every time I felt like my self-doubt was just crippling, every time I felt like I didn't know what I was doing, I had to choose that belief again and again. Choosing that belief led me to try what I needed to try to learn and grow and expand my capabilities, to manage my time, manage my mind, manage my business, leave the law. I had to choose that belief over and over and over again, and I still choose it every single day. So here are the 5 powerful questions I told you that I would give you. I love this quote from Tony Robbins. The quality of our questions determines the quality of our life, and I have found that 100% true. So really take the time to answer these questions about choosing what you want to believe. So number one, if you believed in yourself completely, that you would find a way, that it was possible, what choices would you make differently? Number two, if you made those choices, how would your life be different? How would you feel? How would you think about yourself? What would you do differently? Number three, what beliefs are you holding on to that stand between you and making those choices? What beliefs do you have about yourself, about what's possible for you, about what other people say is possible for you? Number four, what are you giving up by holding on to those beliefs? And number five, do you recognize that holding on to those beliefs is a choice and that you are choosing to give up what you want by holding on to them? You're actually deciding it's more valuable to you to hold on to your old beliefs than to change. Now, these are questions that I intend to come back to over and over again for myself. It's important to reevaluate what we believe about ourselves because we're always going to find layers. We're like onions. There's always another layer to peel back and uncover something new about what we're capable of and what we believe that we're capable of. And we just need to choose to believe that we can do it. And that is what I am so fired up about right now, because we choose to believe things that aren't helping us. We choose to believe that we can't change. We choose to believe that the obstacles are too great. We choose to believe that the sun is just not going to rise tomorrow. And I want to offer to you that you can change. You can choose different beliefs. You just have to believe and choose that you can do it over and over and over again, no matter what obstacles you see in front of you. So that's why I'm a coach. Okay, I help people fan the flames of their belief in themselves. And I saw this in myself, right? Like the procrastination, the self-doubt, the confusion, all of that actually douses the flames of our belief, which is why it felt so hard for me to get traction getting what I wanted. It felt so hard, like getting through procrastination. Like I was exhausted because I didn't have that person in my corner for a really long time who could fan the flames of my belief. It was like I had to start over every time I doused the flames. It was like taking two twigs together and trying to rub them together to get an ember going. Like every single time my belief would go out and I needed to start all over again. And so it was taking a lot of energy for me to build up that fire. I needed a coach to help me fan those flames of my belief and help me continue to expand what I was capable of. And if you don't have a mindset coach who can help you work through the procrastination, the self-doubt, and all those other mental habits that prevent us from keeping the flames going, it takes a long time to get what you want. Instead of having a tiny spark that goes out at the slightest gust of wind, what I do is I help my clients build the fire they have for what they want. It just keeps building. I hold the belief for them even when they can't. I show them where they're making progress and how they can make even more powerful decisions for themselves. And when I do, the fans, like they just blow on those embers and their flame goes up, like their power increases. They start to create better results for themselves, right? Because they're making better decisions. They can see clearly. They start to believe themselves, right? Like they chose belief when they started working with me, and then they started choosing over and over and over again when they kept coming back week after week. And that's why they make the progress. I show them what is going right, like where their belief needs strengthening and how they can keep building those flames themselves, even when they stop working with me. Every day we make decisions to stay where we are or to expand what we're capable of. And if you're the kind of lawyer who's ready to expand your capabilities, I'm here for you. Book a call with me. You are ready. There's no better time than now. You can start working with me by going to dinacataldo.com/strategy session. just sign up for a call. So often we overthink what we want. Stop overthinking and choose to believe in yourself no matter what. Believe that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. All right, my friend, I will talk to you next week. Bye.